please help me welcome up Pastor Adonia.
Good morning, everyone. So wonderful, again, to always see you every week. It's just, I love coming in here in the mornings and seeing everyone. I think it was really wise that Bible verse, where 3 or more are gathered in my name, and there I will be. I feel like that there's really a spirit created. There's a community that goes beyond just the individual parts when we all come together. So I love Sunday mornings. The title of my service this week is Get Out Your Toolbox. Yay. So this is how this sermon came about. Yesterday morning, I was still looking for a topic. I woke up, I got out of bed, I walked out of the bedroom, and I got into the living area, and there's toys everywhere. And I was like, why? Why is it such a mess in here? And then I was like, oh, well, because I didn't clean it up last night, or I didn't have the kids clean up after themselves last night. But I found myself feeling very frustrated about it. But it was also a very familiar feeling. Like, it wasn't just yesterday. It's a fairly common occurrence that I get this feeling of, why? Why is it such a mess? Or I go into the kids' room and the laundry is piled up, and it's like a surprise to me. Like, why is there so much laundry? Or the fish tank starts to get green, and I'm like, gosh, I just cleaned it. Why? Why is it such a mess? And it kind of came home for me yesterday that I realized I'm not really at peace with the fact that most aspects of our life require maintenance. I really love to create new things. I love a new project. I love to build something new. I like to accomplish new things. But when it comes to maintenance, I found that I really have a lot of resistance. I really appreciate people who can just do the daily do and get it done and not get frustrated with it. So if you're one of those people, my respect goes out to you. But I realize almost everything requires maintenance. We can buy a new car, but even a new car requires maintenance. You got to get the oil changed. You got to get the tires rotated. Mike's been doing a lot of that. Thank you, Mike. And you can get a new house, and it's like a wonderful event to get a new house. But there's the lawn that has to be mowed, and there's the carpet that has to be vacuumed, and then there's the windows that have to be cleaned, and the gutters have to be cleaned out. Otherwise, you'll start to get leaky roofs. And congratulations to my dad for being one of those people who can maintain a property so nicely and so well. Even this week, I went to get my hair cut. Oh, thank you. I actually wasn't even thinking about it, but I have a friend who said, you need to get a haircut. I'm going to send you a gift card so you can get a haircut. I'm like, okay. And so I went and I showed her a picture. I was like, something like this. I said, but the most important thing, it has to be easy to maintain. And she's like, oh, no, this is simple. All you have to do is blow dry it, make sure you blow it back like this, and make sure you use the brush like this. And it's so simple. And, it's already like way beyond what I want to do. I'm trying. But I also have to admit, I find this, it's not just in the daily things of life, but I also find this kind of reluctance or resistance when it comes to maintaining my spiritual life. It's my confession to you. I sometimes feel like, why do we say we need to pray every day or all day every day? Why do I really need to take the time out when I have to get the kids off to school and I have to do this and I have to do that? Why do I need to take the time to read some words from God? Sometimes I feel like I just don't have the time, and I don't know what am I going to accomplish by doing this. Why is it part of like a tradition, a daily schedule? Of course, in my head, I know it's good. I know the answer, and I know I won't regret it. But it's just this kind of a feeling that I get when I think about it. It's a little bit of like a resistance or reluctance, or why? So I've talked to a few young couples recently who have recently purchased their first home. And it's so exciting. I think Mike and I haven't done it yet, so we're looking forward to that day. But I think it's so exciting to be able to have your own place, and it's yours. But I know that some of them have also been caught kind of off guard by everything that is now required to maintain it, because the landlord won't take care of the leaky faucets, and it's everything, everything required in that event of getting a new home. And I feel like that some of us have had the experience of when we find God for the first time, or when we first met Reverend and Mrs. Moon, our founders, first met our true parents, or we first joined the movement, that it was this like thrilling excitement, like, look what I found, look what I now have. And that can really carry you, but at the same time, it's kind of like getting a new house. It's very exciting, but there's also, after that, there's the daily maintenance that is required in caring for your new spiritual house. So, what have we done from that point? What have we done? How much have we invested to maintain or grow that relationship to God? So, for me, the question comes up, why? This is my question this week. Why? Why is this an issue at all? Why is maintenance really important? Why do I do it? If I'm supposed to do it, I want to know why I should do it. And I found myself seriously asking myself this question yesterday, kind of halfway hoping to find a way out of it, and that, actually, it's not actually that important. But so there's a kind of obvious answer to this question. And I think that this is often the first thing that comes to mind when we ask ourselves why. For example, if we don't maintain our car, then our car will lose its value. We'll start to have issues with the engine. It will have issues with the tires, and it might break down if you don't maintain it long enough. If we don't do maintenance on our homes, we'll run into problems. We get leaky roofs, you get infestations of cockroaches and mice. Our home will lose its value if we don't maintain our home. If I don't do the laundry or dishes, well, then it's pretty obvious. I won't have any clean laundry or clean dishes, These are the obvious things, the obvious answers of why we need to maintain. I reluctantly clean the fish tank when it starts to get green because I don't want the fish to die, Obvious cause and effect. But this is actually like kind of a fear-based motivation of why we want to maintain things, so that I don't have problems, so that I don't look bad. I don't want people to come over my house and see a messy house, so I guess I better clean it. It's definitely a motivation. It'll eventually push me to do the things that I need to do, but it sure doesn't light a fire in me. It doesn't get me passionate about the things that I need to do. Or maybe you've heard this one. If you don't pray or you don't read Hundake, if you don't read the Bible or read God's words, then you'll lose your relationship to God. Or how about this one? If you don't put God at the center of your life, Satan will claim you. I think I've heard those kind of things before. I actually found a quote from Reverend Moon, from Shoe Father. And this is funny because this all came about from me not having cleaned the room. If you are going to clean the room, for whom are you going to do that? You are going to do that for the sake of the whole. So you must do that, and you must not leave it for other people to do. If you are not willing to do odd jobs or drudgery, it means that your area is already going down towards hell because your every act is judged. But so I'm not saying that there isn't truth to this. Everything we do, certainly every act we do, leads us towards God or away from God. So there's truth to that. And it's true, if I don't clean the fish tank, they will start to die. If I don't do the dishes, there's truth to this. But I feel like that's not really the real reason why we work on maintaining not just things in our physical life, but it's not the real reason why we work to maintain our spiritual life. That's really not why God wants us to do that. So when I was reflecting, I felt like there has to be something more. I don't want to give a sermon on why we have to do this stuff, because otherwise Satan's going to claim you. It's not an inspiring or motivating reason for me to pray, for me to search, or for me to do pledge in the mornings. So I really started to think, why would God want me to do this? Aside from the negative consequences, what is the real motivation? What would be the real purpose of investing into my prayer, investing into looking for God in everyday life? So my short answer that I came up with that was that when we maintain or when we invest into these little things that sometimes feel like drudgery, not only do we prevent bad things from happening, but we also set a stage for amazing things to happen. I've learned a lot about myself, actually. Mike and I have started recently talking about how, if we were to build a house, what kind of a house would we want? And Mike is like, I want a big house. We should have 5 or 6 guest rooms at least. We need a big common area so we can have all the GPA teams come and stay with us. And we can have young couples as they're starting off their life. They can come and they can live with us for a while they get themselves together. And, we need a big kitchen so we can make lots of food. And I was like, no. Because who's going to clean that, he would always start off like, we need a big, and I'd be, no, I think a small house would be nice, And it really took me a while to kind of come to his perspective of how wonderful it would be if we could take care of so many people. We could always have people, having fellowship in our house, and we can take care of so many people. And I realized, is it only my fear of cleaning that prevents me from wanting something greater? It really was, actually. That simple resistance to wanting to maintain or take care of the simple things in house was totally keeping me at a lower level where I didn't even want to think about what would be possible if I could do that little bit. I finally let go of that, and now I'm excited about what we can, do in our future. And And I've also realized that when I do those simple things, if I've taken care of everything, if the laundry's done, if the house is clean, the dishes are all up in their shelves, and I come home, I'm like, wow, gosh, what should I do now? Instead of feeling like, oh, gosh, I gotta do this and this and this, I think I'll just go to bed early tonight, But I start to get this, it's like a creative energy that comes in. Oh, what could I do now? Maybe we could do some project with the kids. We should go out and collect leaves and make a garland. Or we should, it's a whole different level of operation for me. I have a quote here, another quote from True Father. When you have made it a habit not to follow the flesh or Satan, then you have made your life on the right or spiritual side. Then you will find yourself entirely new. No longer will you be the one who used to be this way and that, but the new you is headed for the heavenly cause. The higher you go, the nearer you will come to the goal you seek. Even though you will still have to fight, you will find yourself feeling stronger. Then both your mind and body will be nearer to God. Even though we may not be praying too hard or struggling too hard, we will find ourselves going the way God would have us go. In that case, God is working in us and abides in us. We then realize that we are living with God. So I feel like that this quote kind of shows that it's always a forward progress, actually. I actually realize I don't like the word maintaining, because that kind of implies that nothing ever changes. We're still just keeping the status quo. But I think what I'm realizing is that when we do those simple things, when we do that daily prayer, or when we do that little bit of reading, when I can keep the house at a basic level of cleanliness, that's what sets the stage for growth. Just like before I could even accept the idea of having a larger house, because I didn't want to clean, I couldn't even imagine the possibilities of what would be possible of having a larger house. I feel like it's also the same way with God. Sometimes we don't want, it feels like those little drudgery things, to work, to invest into prayer, or to read. Why? Just so I can say that I'm being a good church member? But we don't even realize what's possible when we're at that level plane, when we've accomplished those daily things and we're at a level playing field. I feel like then all the possibilities are open to us. This is a quote I really love. I think I've shared this one before, actually, from Jeremiah 29:11-13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Oh, sorry for the spellings. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. So I feel like this is where it gets to the heart of why. This is the motivation for why God wants us to invest into him. Because he's got plans for us. He's got a bright future ahead for us. He doesn't want us to stay the same. He doesn't want us to maintain the status quo. There's great things that God has in store for us. There's so many possibilities out there. I feel like God created us as a creative beings with no limit to what we can accomplish, no limit to who we can be. And God just wants to give that to us. But when we feel like we're in a pit, or when we feel like we're always a step behind, or we don't want to do these little things, then it's kind of like we've got our head I don't know, below the cloud line or something. So in doing those little things, whatever it is for you that you feel like you need to do, I think not everybody connects to God in the same way through prayer. And maybe some people really love to read, Father's speeches. Or maybe some people really love to read the Bible. Or maybe you really love to read, you've got one favorite thing you just want to read over and over again. Everybody has a different way that they feel that they're contributing to their spiritual life and that they're connecting to God. But take a minute and think, what is that for me? If God is trying to reach me and help me to reach my potential and open up the limitless possibilities of what I can do and who I can be, what is that little thing that I am not investing in? What is the maintenance that I've been avoiding? What tools do I not want to get out of my toolbox and take the time to fix? Sometimes a leaky faucet doesn't take that long to fix, but it's just the thought of it. We don't want to, it could just go for months, So I really encourage you this week to think, what is it that I can do? What have I maybe been avoiding? I don't want to say, what can I maintain? What is that, the daily work I can do that will lead me forward and bring me to the point above the cloud line, so I can see what it is that God has in store for me. I have one more quote here. This is a quote I was introduced to by the Jehovah's Witnesses, actually. And it's part of a scripture that talks about God's wisdom and like God's love. And it says, look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure. And the Jehovah's Witness asked me, she said, do you know why it says silver? I was like, oh, I don't know. She said, why doesn't it say gold? Because isn't gold more precious? Oh, yeah. And she said, well, actually, silver is hidden much more deep in the earth than gold. So we need to be willing to dig deep for God. We need to be willing to dig as deep as we need to go, to find God's wisdom, to find God's perspective, and to find God's love. Search for it as for hidden treasure. I think part of the problem is we don't know that there's hidden treasure waiting for us. We're told that we should dig. We're told that we should pray, told that we should read. But we don't realize that the treasure is waiting for us. We don't always keep in mind that God is waiting for us. Our purpose is waiting for us. The potential of the fulfillment of everything that we are is waiting for us. So when you think about doing the maintenance, I really encourage you not to think of just keep maintaining the status quo or just doing it because we have to do it or to avoid the consequences if we don't do it. But think about what am I moving towards? What blessings are waiting for me when I get to the other side? I think that having that kind of a goal is the motivating force that allows us to actually complete what we're trying to do. I always think back to our race. Felicia and I kayaked 340 miles down the Missouri River. And in order to prepare for that race, we had to work out. We had to do this many push-ups, and we had to train. And it was about 6 months of training every day. And I am not a person who enjoys working out. I never, before my entire life, had I ever consistently done any kind of working out, ever. When I decided to do this race, I had 3 children, and I had like no muscle. I was really skinny, and I just thought, I don't even know how we're going to do this. And if I had just told myself, okay, today I'm going to I got to do 25 push-ups. And if I just told myself that every day, I would have stopped probably within 2 or 3 days. If I just did it because I had to do it, because I knew that I was supposed to do it. But because I had this goal and I knew what I was going to be doing in 6 months from now, because I knew that the biggest challenge was there for me and that the biggest reward was waiting at the end of the finish line, we did it. We did it every single day. We did our working out. We did our running. We did our sit-ups. We did it all. And it wasn't work. I was excited to do it because I knew where it was leading me. So I really encourage you to paint the picture in your mind. Create a vision for yourself of where it is. Ask God, what do you have in store for me? Try to find that vision and paint that vision for yourself and let that be your motivating factor for why you go through each day, for why you take out the tools, and you do that little bit of elbow grease work here and there. Okay, that's my message for today, but I'm so grateful to y'all for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and enjoy your fellowship together. All right, thank you.
Our announcements. So tomorrow, Young Gil and Sammy have organized a youth event to watch the Broncos beat the Houston Texans while making burritos. So please speak to Young Gil or Sammy if you have any questions or if you'd like to go. Please arrive by 6 p.m. So on Saturday, October 29th, Dr. Hendrick will be going into the first half of the divine principle, the principles of creation, the fall, and predestination. This workshop is for guests and for those looking for a refresher. Meals will be provided. So October 30th, which is next Sunday, we will celebrate one of our major holy days, True Children's Day, and also Halloween. So there will be a little party after service and lunch. And then on Monday at 7 a.m., there'll be an offering table for True Children's Day, Monday the 31st. After church, after lunch. Oh, for the offering, it's at 7 a.m. It's after church. Yeah. So now I'm going to invite Shirley Chimes to share a little bit about the school in Rwanda.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You keep hearing about this fundraiser, and you don't know anything about it. And basically, I didn't know anything about it either until I started to study about this incredible school that we really hadn't been supporting so much through the years. And early, in the late 90s, our father and mother Moon sent Japanese women to 8 different countries in Africa, and they lived amongst the people, and everybody told them, the residents in Africa told them that they needed education. And they founded 8 different schools in Africa. And they're truly imbued with the heart and the spirit and the glory of our true parents. And we've been asked, or the Colorado Church and the Ohio Church have been asked to support the New Hope Technical Institute in Kigali, Rwanda. And this is what the flyer is all about when you see it on Sunday, but you don't know anything about it. So this is a quick preview of November 5th. This is a picture of the school there that they created it was instituted in 1996, but classes began in August of 1998. This was shortly after the Civil War there that you are aware of. And this is, the classes are in dressmaking, hairdressing, culinary, massage, and nail care. They started out with the first 3 classes here. This is a picture of what the former United States donations have contributed. On the table, you'll see, if you can't quite see it, I'll explain. It's a serger machine for dressmaking, a buttonhole maker, and an iron. And the same thing on the bottom. The next picture, and these are all of our students in the white and the blue that attend this school. Some of them walk 2 hours a day just to get to classes, 2 hours back. There's 2 rainy seasons during the year. You can imagine walking in that kind of weather. And so for hairdressing, which this class is all about, the former U.S. donations have, they've bought electric hair clippers for men, and men are included in this education. Even ex-soldiers that were in the war are included in the school, and they're standing next to our ladies and learning these skills. So on the table on the bottom, you'll see electric hair clippers for men, hair straightening equipment, hair dryers, and cutting shears. And to let you know that hair extensions are a real big thing going on there. And so was nail technology. Okay, and next is culinary. Big class. On the top, our donations in the past have bought 3 heat insulating containers, just like you see the Wises when they bring these fantastic meals to church. Finally, our Kigali school got that for their cooking class. A metric table on the left, and cupboards. Cupboards also on the left. Next is a picture of downtown Kigali. It's quite modern, as you can see, against the backdrop of a neighborhood that's near the school. And look at the huge, beautiful home there, and the contrast, if you can see it, of the really, really humble homes. Somebody carrying something on their head while others are driving bicycles. And they're cutting out material on the left. They're outside cutting and measuring for dressmaking, and the dressmaking classes there. I'm hoping in the future we can continue to get more and more modern sewing machines, but this is what they have right now. And those are pedal machines. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but next is massage and hair extensions. You may not see it too well on the right side. Our cooking classes. These are some of the clothes that our students have made. Aren't they pretty? And nail technology, a big thing there. One of our young Japanese ladies in the middle there on the right side, she came as a volunteer from Japan, and she's teaching nail care. And they've had specialists come in to teach the students how to take care of all of these things and for their personal hygiene. And there's also a foster children's program where the school supports young men and women who cannot afford it, and they're visiting their homes and taking care of them in that way. These are the same ladies that are teaching and have turned over the management of the school to the Rwandan people. And in the middle is a picture of a Rwandan lady. She is in the lower house of Parliament, and our Japanese ladies there that are still there administering Student on the left, who's an administrator, and the lady on the right is a lady from Canada who is a clothes designer. She has come for the last 5 years and has been teaching the newest clothes technique in styling. The lady in the middle, again, going back to her, she is in the lower house of Parliament, and we give all of our reports to her. And Rwanda, even though it is the smallest country in Africa, has the highest amount of women in Parliament. We're really proud of that. But this is a preview of what you're going to see on our November 5th fundraiser. We have more pictures that will go into more detail. But these are the students, and I'll give you on November 5th some more thank yous from them personally as to how they've brought electricity into their home. And they've been able to buy things maybe for their grandmas because their parents were killed in the genocide. So thank you very much. I hope that you will come, and if you cannot come, we appreciate a donation in any amount, and we will be collecting from now till late November. Okay. Thank you.
So yes, please help support. This is the event that Shirley was talking about. So it's the African luncheon on November 5th. And so if you want to go, speak to Aunt Shirley for flyers or tickets. Dr. Balcom, our national church president, and his wife will be coming to visit our community November 5th and 6th. There will be a community dinner on Saturday evening at Golden Corral, which we hope everyone can go, as well as an official ribbon cutting ceremony for our Welcome Center. Yay. And the cafe, of course. And so we'll send out details about the community dinner by email. So there's another Blessed Family gathering, but this time at the Mahardy's house. It's going to be November 4th, that's a Friday, at 5:30 to 7:30. So please speak with either Dave or Christine Mahardy if you have any questions or if you'd like to go. Our French ministry, part of our family, is planning a Divine Principle workshop on December 3rd. More details to come, but please mark your calendars now. Oh, and translation will be provided. Did I skip one? No. Okay. So next week we have the Vogenthaler family cleaning. Neela Chinoe will be ushering, and the Bruno family will be providing refreshments. Thank you so much for listening to me, but now we're going to have our music ministry, so please welcome them up.